Another best practice to apply when you're implementing a view is to always use a strongly typed view. Strongly typed views inherit from view page of T, where T represents the type of the model that's going to be passed to the view. Untyped views simply derive from view page without the generic type parameter. Once you specify that generic type parameter, the model property on the view, its type will be set to that same type. We've seen how easy it is to generate strongly typed views using the AddView wizard in Visual Studio, and that's using that T4 code generation technology behind the scenes. We've also seen how you can take those T4 templates and customize them to produce views that are specific for your application. Even though you can get pretty far with that code generating of views, you'll still find yourself inside of the view templates, modifying them, perhaps creating them from scratch at times, and having a strongly typed view means you'll get IntelliSense, which is a huge productivity win. Anytime you need to write out something from the model or touch something in the model, the IntelliSense will help you pick the correct property. Things would be different in an untyped view because then all of the data is coming in through that view data dictionary, and you need to index into it using just a magic string that the compiler really cannot check to make sure that you're accessing the correct piece of information or something that exists. It's a lot easier with a strongly typed view to refactor your model and change property names, because then the compiler and the IDE will know what properties you're using in your views. We'll be able to rename those so that they can keep working. You'll also find it easier to track down errors if you're using a strongly typed view. Instead of getting a null reference exception trying to work on a piece of data that you expected to be in the view data dictionary, you'll be able to get compiler errors that tell you that you tried to access a property that doesn't exist on this specific type. We've seen a couple of techniques and technologies that you can use to find errors in your views. One is to use the ASP.NET compiler. That's a command line tool that you can run to pre-compile an application. As part of that pre-compilation process, it parses all the views and generates assemblies for them. In that case, if you have an error in your view, the ASP.NET compiler will tell you what view had an error. You can also use web deployment projects. Web deployment projects will invoke that ASP.NET compiler behind the scenes for you. And then a third option is to use a property that's in the MS build file for the MVC project. That property is called MVC build views. You can set that to true, and then every time you build the MVC application, MS Build will go out and tell the ASP.NET runtime to build your views. It's actually using the ASP.NET compiler behind the scenes also. The great thing about this is that you can catch view errors immediately before you even run the application. The downside is that you'll have slower build times.